On today's show,
we discuss Devin Booker's 70-point explosion and whether Harden and Westbrook should share MVP honors.
Chris Bosh joins us live to play a fun round of What You Got, Chris Bosh edition.
And we'll go for a ride in a brand new edition of Weekend Whoopsies.
It's Monday, March 27th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters. Whether you're listening to the podcast, joining us live right now on NBA TV, or a little bit later on YouTube, we're very, very happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Taz Mellis.
It's almost April. Can you believe it?
Nuts. To his right, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Lele.
And last, certainly not least, over there, it's the bearded one. It's Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey-o! TK, what's up?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag the starters. And guys, with just 9 games remaining, the New Orleans Pelicans are 4 games out of the 8th seed in the Western Conference. So their season is most likely over pretty soon, which means they can start focusing on next year. And while we don't know exactly who will be sticking around for the Pelicans, it seems like they've got a lead on a new assistant coach.
New Orleans has new life. Yeah. Do you think in the offseason the Pelicans should acquire a new, guard or another man? What do you think they need?
I think they need me to be assistant coach.
That's right. Master P wants to coach the Pelicans, makes me say, nah. But we want to, brings us to today's question. Which rapper would be the best NBA coach? And personally, I think it's got to be the RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan. If you can get 9 guys on the page for a rap album, you can probably do it with a basketball team. As for what team he's coaching, give me RZA on the Wizard. But we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter which rapper would be the best coach. Send us your best tweets to hashtag the starters. We'll hear from you a little bit later.
The W could look like the Wu-Tang W.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
It works.
Yeah.
It works.
Bong, bong.
Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. We got a fun show. Chris Bosh is going to join us live in studio. And, of course, we got Weekend Whoopsies. But let's start with a little true or false as we look back at the NBA weekend. TK, you got the true or false questions for us. Hit us.
That's right. On Friday, Suns guard and J.E. Skeets man crush Devin Booker became just the 6th player to ever score 70 points in an NBA game. And he did it thanks to a combination of sweet shooting, timeouts, and even intentional fouling. Pretty cool, pretty weird. True or false, Devin Booker's 70-point game was a mockery.
A mockery?
A mockery!
False.
Get out of here.
False. I watched the Celtics feed of this game, and we know the color commentator, Tommy Heinsohn, the biggest homer of all homers.
Right.
Whenever he thinks someone is wronging the Boston Celtics, he will defend it, even if he's wrong. He didn't, for 1 second, not once, say that they were running up the score. Devin Booker was doing this in a wrong type of way, that they were running up the score and giving Devin Booker the ball. It wasn't until the final minute that they called 2 timeouts, sure, to move the ball up, and 2 intentional fouls to get the ball back. It wasn't until the final minute. He did it in the flow of the game. If Tommy Heinsohn isn't saying that it was a mockery, a guy who will say absolutely anything, then come on. I mean, it was entirely fine. He had a quiet 19 at half, and then he shot 14 of 26 in the second half. It was literally in the flow. And then, yes, of course, this team that doesn't have a lot going for them was trying to get him the points there in the last. But again, it wasn't until the final minute that there was 2 timeouts and 2 intentional fouls.
No way mockery. Forced a little bit at the end. Yes, absolutely. Because they even admitted as such. And that's what I liked when they were asked about it after the game. Devin Booker was on record saying, we were trying to run up my points. And you watch the last couple minutes, they're calling timeouts, moving it. It's totally seeking him. The guy was on fire. And the Celtics crowd was loving it because they already had the win in the bag, and they wanted to see 70. And they did. It's only the 6th player in NBA history.
Pretty much almost every game of NBA basketball, we see someone sort of padding their stats or stat stuffing or some way. And that's kind of what he was doing towards the end. When he got close, he thought, all right, let's just see how many we can get him here. But if you go back to David Robinson's 71-point performance, for example, the Spurs openly were trying to get him 71 points so he could win the scoring title. And just recently, for example, the Celtics, when Isaiah Thomas had that 20-point streak going, that consecutive, they were trying to get him that going, keep that going. So this sort of stuff happens all the time.
What did you think about this, though? What did you think about the Wilt-like 70 photo with the entire
I know some
squad?
guys wanted to get their shirts off and be in that
Well,
photo.
it was after the game. Jay Crowder sort of took offense to it, jumping in the comments. Booker had a great response to that, though. He couldn't guard me in the game.
I mean, look, he's 20 years old and he scored 70 points. He should celebrate that moment. He'll probably not get close to that again for his career. Why not just put a photo up? Paying homage, really, to Will Chamberlain, not trying to make fun of him or anything like
The
that.
Suns don't have much going on, and this was, sort of the epicenter of their season. And Devin Booker crossed the 50-point threshold like midway through the fourth. It was coming along slowly. It was sort of quiet. It happened organically until the last minute, until the final 1 minute when Coach said,
May as well
"Okay,
cash
let's
in
do
now."
this."
Yeah, for sure. All right, next one, Trey.
All right, next one, Harden or Westbrook, Westbrook or Harden, what you got? Well, according to Kobe Bryant, as he told ESPN, quote, "We might see our first co-MVPs this year. We've had co-Rookies of the Year, co-MVPs of the All-Star Game, and a 5-way Player of the Month, so true or false, Kobe's right. Harden and Westbrook should be co-MVPs.
False.
Yeah.
False.
Kobe,
I don't really
co-MVP.
truly believe Kobe meant it when he said it either. No way. Like,
He's in the media now.
yeah, he's trying to play both sides.
Yeah.
No, false. And yeah, we've had the co-rookie of the years, but that was a different time because that was when the media only had the one vote.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't, like with MVP now, you got to go first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and then the points are all different, 10, 7, 5, it goes down and down. Like, it'd be almost impossible.
Yeah.
Not impossible, but likely impossible for us to actually have a tie. It was different when Steve Francis and Elton Brand did it and Jason Kidd and Grant Hill because you just had the one vote and they just split it. It just happened the way it is. But no way. You got to pick a side, man.
Kobe, the guy who always wanted to be number one, he wanted to be on top. He fought that way. He grinded that way. He's going to pick co-MVPs? I don't like it
I don't
whatsoever.
buy
We
it.
want to make half the world mad. We want to make half the world angry and say, you're wrong,
Yeah,
and
and
get
that's what's
into
gonna
that
happen.
battle. And that's the whole fun of MVPs. It's all how you take it. You got to pick one. That's it.
And it's going to come down to what you value more, whether it's Russ doing more with less or James Harden has better support around him and maybe he should get docked a few points for that, or is it wins that count more or higher seeding in the playoffs?
Hey, what about LeBron? Hey, what about Kawhi?
Yeah, no,
This one makes it
exactly.
fun.
Yeah.
You can't co it.
No.
You can't co it.
No, I 100%
And
agree
imagine
with
how
that.
awkward that press conference would be if they were both there together to try to share that one special moment in your life and you've
I
got
don't
to
think
share
it
it
would
with
be that
someone else.
awkward.
But you would be like, I'm the MVP, but so is this guy. It'd be...
Okay, but 25 years from now, if let's say Harden wins another one then by himself, do you say he won 1.5 MVPs? Or did he win 2 MVPs?
He won 2.
No.
He won it.
Yes.
He just shared
Yeah,
it.
that's why that can't
These guys,
happen.
and
That
these,
can't
and these
happen.
guys
I
have
would love it if
maintained-
it did happen, though, because mathematically it's so hard for it
I
to
want
happen.
us to be sitting here yelling at each other when either Harden or Westbrook ultimately wins this
We're going to
thing.
do that anyway, so who
Yeah,
cares?
exactly. All right, come on, Kobe. All right, final one here.
All right, with 5:16 remaining in the fourth quarter, the Clippers led the Kings by 18 points and were well on their way to a victory. But with no time remaining in the fourth, the Clippers had blown their big lead and lost to the Kings. Talk about a weekend whoopsie. True or false, the Clippers' loss was the worst of this entire season.
It was
True,
the worst loss
yeah.
of their season.
Yeah, one of the most perplexing
Yeah.
losses of the season, the entire season, because they had a great win over the Jazz, over the weekend, and then they follow it up with what looks like a win, and they blow, again, unbelievable, an 18-point lead with 5 minutes to go. That's
Yeah.
very, very rare. In fact, it's only happened ever once before in the last 20 seasons. The Blazers back in like 2012, 2013 season. So, maybe not worst from everyone, but most perplexing.
For
but
the
it's
Clippers.
very Clippers, yeah.
Yeah, this is a sort of sloppiness that sort of catches up with them in the playoffs. They seem to get these big leads and lose the unlosable games. And against the Kings, who are nowhere near going to make the playoffs, of course, and the Clippers, I wonder if perhaps because they had such a big win on Saturday, maybe they took their eye off the ball a little bit towards the end. But
I mean,
even-
the starters
even
the starters
still-
came out of the
Yeah.
game, but then it was like a 10-point game, and Doc
Yeah.
put them all back in, and they couldn't
Even
close it
still,
out.
at home, they shouldn't have blown that to
Yeah,
the Kings.
watching it, you couldn't help but think 2015, second round of the playoffs, they're up 3-1 on the Houston Rockets, and they gave up a 19-point lead at the end of the third quarter to lose that game
Right.
when you thought that this was the time that they were going to their first conference finals. And J.J. Redick, in his words, said, we stopped playing. And that's exactly what it seemed to be like in this instance. And you think, how many more times can the Clippers do this?
Yeah.
You start to think, is this team going to be together season after season after season after season if they continue to lose it, especially without home court advantage this postseason?
Well, we will see. All right, gotta take a break, but when we come back, we are excited. Chris Bosch will join us live in studio. In fact,
there he
he's
is.
already here.
Oh, yeah.
He's looking sharp.
Look at
so
that.
Don't go anywhere. Chris Bosch when we return. Welcome back to the Starters TNT doubleheader tonight. Players only, it's Cavs and Spurs, followed by the Pelicans and Jazz. And one of those players Joining us in studio, 11-time All-Star, 2-time champ, and just turned 33 years old, Chris Bosh.
Yeah, I did. I forgot about that.
Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Sorry to
Very
remind
much.
you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, it's
Were there
good.
any camels involved in this birthday
No,
party?
not this time.
Not this time?
We
All
were
right.
just nice and simple, just me and the wife.
Cool, excellent. Well, appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
How have the players-only broadcast been going for you? You guys like 4 or 5 weeks in here, I guess. How's the experience
It's
been?
flown by.
Yeah?
It's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's super easy.
Right.
I mean, everyone at Turner has been just very gracious to us and just kind of allowing us the freedom of just being able to talk. And if we have ideas, we get to share them. And those
Have some
guys
fun. You can have some fun with those guys.
Yes, we have a great group of guys. C-Web, Isaiah, Barron, and then KG is always over just talking, and it's always a lot of fun.
He's always
He is
talking.
always
Yeah,
talking.
he's a good one.
Well, now that you're a member of the media, we're interested to sort of get your take on a former teammate of yours, LeBron James and the Cavs. They're obviously struggling a little bit right now. Celtics have now tied them at the top of the East. You played with them. Does LeBron care about the number 1 seed at all? And if so, what is he telling these guys, or does he not care at all?
He cares.
He cares.
Yes. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where in basketball, if you're trying to win a championship, you have to have that bravado, like we'll go anywhere and win.
Right.
But you still want to have home court if possible. It's a reason that they've gotten to the finals 2 years in a row.
Right.
They had home court both years, and Boston's playing very well right now. I think they've won 14 out of their last 15 at home.
At home, yeah.
They're starting to play the way you want to play in late March, early April.
Right.
So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a race.
Well, one thing we do here on the Starters a lot, play a simple game called What You Got.
Okay.
But this is the Chris Bosh edition. So we're going to...
Those are not my arms.
Those are Jake's arms. We're going to present you with some either-or questions, and you got to determine the better choice. It's pretty
Okay.
simple. Either-or questions.
Your own arms or
Okay.
Trey's arms is the
Yeah.
first question.
Now, first one here, from 2013 to 15, you and Team Bosh and your teammates, you guys owned All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
You successfully won 3 consecutive Shooting Stars titles. But we ask the tough questions here on the Starters.
Oh, man.
Better Shooting Stars teammate, Swin Cash, or the human highway five,
Man,
Dominique
why you
Wilkins?
got to do that?
Who was better out there?
Come on.
Who'd you have
Who
more
was
confidence
better out
in?
there?
Yeah, let's answer it that way.
I don't know. I have to look back at the stats. Let's crunch the numbers. I can't pick.
Can't pick.
Nah, I can't pick. I mean, both are great people. I mean, Swin is an unbelievable future Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Dominique
Nick's
is
already
a
in
Hall
there.
of Famer.
This was a dynasty.
It
And
was
yeah,
a
just,
dynasty.
I mean, we kind of had fun with it. Honestly, man, the pressure actually began to build. It was actually some pressure
Sure.
because, I never watched the Shooting Stars.
Right.
And then that opportunity came, so I was like, why not?
Yeah.
I brought my kids and we all sit and
Yeah.
play on the court because nobody's there. And then, you could hear people kind of cheering for it. And it's like, man, I am on TV and I do kind of have to. I've built this reputation of really having to win this time. So.
Well, 3 for 3, not bad.
Do you
Yeah,
think
it's
they
not
stopped
bad.
the competition because you guys were just unstoppable?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it was. We shut it down. We shut it down. The greatest team
You
ever
did seem to
assembled.
hit a lot of half-court shots yourself
Yeah.
for your team.
I mean, I think look, I just threw it up there and it went in, man. That's all I can say. And it was funny because, I think one year Steph was on a team and then KD had a team. So it was kind of like, I don't want him to beat me. And I know they were
Yes,
thinking
of
the same
course.
thing because I remember seeing Kevin on there. I said, man, I got to bring it.
Well, you did. All right, well, our next one here. You've had a lot of viral videos over the last, 5, 6, 7 years. You're doing it a long time.
Yeah.
Here are 2 of our favorite characters.
I will be going to Chris Bosh's house, I believe. Here you call it crib.
Hurry up, folks, because time is almost up and these things are moving fast. Make sure you get one of these ballots.
All right, so this is a tough one. Funnier viral video character, Blaine Harrington there, or the used car salesman?
I like the used car salesman.
Yeah, that's great.
that was my first one, and I had entirely too much time. I have a family now, all that time. But I just, I remember at the time that was Kevin Garnett's first year at Boston, and I was playing in Toronto. It's not like it is now, and so my visibility was extremely low, and I was way behind in the All-Star, ballot.
voting, yeah.
And I knew I wasn't gonna win, so I was like, I can't be a distant third. I could at least be right behind him, kind of, you know. So I was just trying to get my, my votes up. Really, yeah. I didn't expect it to do all those things, though. You know, I didn't expect it to be on the internet the next day. It was kind of, I put it on the internet, and then it was like on SportsCenter. I was just watching SportsCenter on an off day, and it came on, and I couldn't believe it.
I remember I was writing for Ball Don't Lie, Yahoo's the sports blog, and I put it up for sure. And it was like on the front page of Yahoo Sports, like millions of votes. So there you go. All right, moving on here. Got a couple more. You are, I believe, the undisputed king of the video bomb. Now, two of our favorites here were the spinning robot on Dwayne Wade, and then you got LeBron with the pop-up. So this is a tough one.
Look at the camera.
Chris Bosh, favorite video bomb, the Wade robot or the LeBron pop-up? What you got?
It was a robot for sure. I haven't seen that in a while. Yeah, only because, like, I just did it for fun, right? Because I would be over there doing like maybe local radio. We win so many games, and like it would be us three doing interviews every time. So I would look at them, and every time I'd be done first. And that just gave me this, I've got a vivid imagination. So I said, this will be funny. And I just did it, and then it became a thing. And I just try to think like what can make somebody laugh on the other end of the screen.
And now everybody's doing it. I mean, you see it a lot of the time.
Yeah, you see a spike in it.
Yeah.
I mean, now looking back on it, I wouldn't want anybody doing that to me. So, you see some things now. It's like, hey, I'm trying to do an interview, please. I lost my train of thought.
All right, well, final one before we let you go. As I said, you're a two-time champ, and you had two of the best celebrations ever. This is the first championship.
You guys are digging up all the...
And this is the second championship. We got the confetti. So, Chris, better celebratory shower, I guess. The champagne or the confetti? Which one? What do you got?
The confetti's funnier.
Okay.
The champagne thing was my favorite.
There it is.
Because only because at that moment so many people were killing us, and nobody wanted us to win.
That's
and
right.
I wanted to just do something to kind of irritate people.
First title
just a little bit. Yeah, and I think that was the interview too.
Yeah.
I think somebody was doing the interview, and I told him, I said, stop talking. And,
It probably tasted a bit better than confetti, I'm sure.
Yeah, it burns really too. So don't pour beer or champagne on your face.
Chris, we can't thank you enough, man, for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Oh.
When we come back, CJ McCollum steals the show in a brand new edition of Weekend Whoopsies. Thanks a lot, Chris. Thank you. Time for some Weekend Whoopsies.
Watch the bench here. Chicago Bulls dancing while the game is going on. Look, it was the first play of the Bulls game here. They're on offense. They hadn't completed their pregame handshakes.
Gotta get them in.
I mean, this got to get in the rule book here.
That's why they've
complete
traded
your
for
handshakes.
campaign, I think.
That routine.
Yep.
Rajon Rondo off the Bacchus. He knows how to do that. That's some trickery. That's Rondo. That is finest.
Same game. Bulls rookie Paul Zipser with the slipser. Off the foot it goes. Had an easy rebound. Paul! Come on, Paul! Come on, Paul! Dario had a great game, and the wet bandit, TJ McConnell, struck again.
Good teammates around me, people who really love the basketball, people who share.
Best man in his wedding, 90.
Yeah, he's my very good friend.
Good friend, but you might remember this flashback. Early January, TJ got him, and it was a different
We tried
result.
to play good defense, we tried to,
KJ McDaniels, nice dunk here. It's miraculous that he doesn't fall as he takes a ride on Jason Smith. And they both stay up. Ooh.
Neither were that mad.
No.
Cue the genuine.
Good job, Monty McCutcheon.
DeMarcus Cousins is switching things up. Instead of losing his temper and getting texts, he's hitting threes and throwing tees at the crowd. Yeah, tee him up.
He's going to be a ref when he retires.
Probably a chirpy Rockets fan. Tee him up. Good call.
This dad sent a message to his son this week and went to a Charlotte game and said, hey, get your grades up, you can join me. But not just once. He flew across the country, went to a Houston game on Sunday.
What?
2 games. Can you hear me now, son? Student, then athlete. Whoa. Message sent.
CJ McCollum gonna fire a wild pass here.
Whoa.
Botches the pass and Botches standing because he. So look at him look back here like a sniper.
Who
got him.
pushed me?
Yeah. All right.
LeBron James wore goggles on Saturday. Looking sharp.
Very
But it didn't last too long. 8 minutes into the first quarter, misses a J, and had to be the goggles.
Always the goggles.
Here they go.
Bye.
Goodbye. There they are.
They're on eBay now.
Just guns
40 grand on eBay.
Hollis Jefferson's going to throw down a big dunk, and it's going to get his Nets bench going crazy. Where are they going, though?
It's like a scrum in rugby.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Group block here, 4 or 5 guys. Bye.
Russell Westbrook is down on the baseline here. Teammate Jeremy Grant goes to help up. The MVP candidate takes a slip himself.
Dangerous.
That used to be Serge Ibaka's role.
Yeah, I remember that Serge one.
Yeah. And finally, over to the EuroLeague, former Hawks big man Pero Antic. He's a little too excited in this game with the call. Yes! Yeah! He just straight up punches his own teammate in the face. That's all right. He's got a little smooch for him. That'll make him feel better.
Beautiful.
All right, when we come back, Lili hits us with a very solid play. Don't go anywhere.
The Bulls were spinning their wheels late in the 1988-89 season, struggling to maintain the pace they had set the previous year when they won 50 games. On March 8th of that season, with Jordan unable to play due to an illness, Chicago was routed by Boston in a game in which they trailed by 29 heading into the fourth quarter, and despite the Celtics missing their best player. It was Chicago's third straight loss and prompted head coach Doug Collins to make a radical lineup change. He moved Michael Jordan to point guard.
Special Michael Jordan edition on the art of the triple-double tonight on Game Time. All right, let's get to the pick-em play for tonight. Oh, Lee, this isn't good for you, actually. All of us are taking the Mavericks, so Lee will not be gaining a game regardless of whether or not the Mavs beat the Thunder, but VSP time.
Heading out to Los Angeles, and it's a boomerang from the chief, Al Farouk Amino, and he also finishes off with a little pump fake party here. There it is.
Oh, a bit of everything.
Nice finish. That's what I call a very solid play.
Good stuff. Guys, join us tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. It's the Starters Twitter show. You can join us live on Twitter. It just makes sense. But one guy that won't be joining us because he's off to Houston, I guess right after this show. Is that correct, Tass? Tass will be
Those
in
are my
Houston
arms.
for the Warriors and Rockets, followed by Wizards and Lakers. That is our fan night action. So we'll be talking to Tass live in Houston. Oh, we got a fan sign.
Tibibe. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, but him and his friends at the phone booth in Washington on Friday night. Nice job there, guys. Well done.
Not bad.
Demetrios and his buddies out in Crete, a Crete edition.
Double
of the
wedgie.
Starters. Double
Finally.
wedgie. Good stuff in there. Very solid play. Very nice.
Way to go, boys.
Yeah.
All right.
Safe flight, buddy.
Yes, I will. Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, tonight is your last opportunity to watch Players Only on TNT. And hopefully, Christopher Bosch will be laughing as hard as he did on our show earlier.
Praise the night, people.